time of the day. What is up, everybody? It is Sunday. We are in season 4, episode 11, I believe it is.
Sounds right.
It is 8:01 Pacific Standard Time. Do you know where your cryptids are?
Yeah, mine's hanging out back here.
Got mine on the back as well. So we are wrapping up our Haunted Islands month. September sounds like it's going to be haunted houses. Different houses that are famously haunted. And then October, we will be bringing you famous exorcisms.
October, okay.
So October is going to be really spooky.
Sounds like we got some good stuff on the way.
We got some great stuff on the way. Also, for everybody, we're going to do at the top of the hour. The tickets to the 2025 Old Town Ghost Walk are now live. So you can go to shoestringplayers.com, I believe it is, and buy your tickets. Buy them early. We have between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. It is a meet and greet. They are serving food. You got to order. That's not part of the ticket price. There are drinks. We'll be entertaining the crowd from 8:30 to 9. We will be doing a live spirit box session for you, the customer, and our guests for the walk inside a haunted bordello. So you get, it's kind of like a big twofer here. You get the walk and you get a small paranormal investigation. Plus you get some really good food and drinks, cocktails, mocktails, and some red wine. It should be a fun time for everybody.
I'm ready to get that season started, man. I've been going down there yesterday, you and I talking and going back over the route and changes that were made and all that good stuff. I can't wait.
Oh, it's going to be a good walk this year.
No construction to deal with.
No construction to deal with. All the sidewalks are clear and happy and ready to go.
Yes.
With that said, this is now.
Now, what we got now?
Right now, we've got the Isle of Wight in England.
Oh,
another haunted island.
Haha.
Our number one fan and research officer Tammy has done another bang-up job of
hunting this stuff down.
A research. Oh yeah, she's going to take over permanently.
I'd say she done a better job than you.
No argument there.
This has been fantastic with her doing this. All right, so the island of Wight in England.
Isle of Wight. So tonight we are traveling to England and its largest island, even though England is an island. So I kind of understand what she's trying to say there. England was a country and then there's a little island. The Isle of Wight is located in the English Channel. It is just off the south coast and is separated from the mainland by the Solent Straits. The island is known for its mild weather, coastal scenery, beaches, historic sites, and of course, haunted locations too. The Isle of Wight is known as one of the most haunted islands in the world, with numerous locations like Appledrocombe House, a Renton Manor, Knighton Gorges, and a Castlewood pub in Newport, all reportedly having ghostly activity. Sightings include apparitions of asylum patients, murderers, ghostly ships, and even a lady in white lace costume said to dance at a local pub. Where do we sign up? Sounds like a cool place to visit.
My question is, why is it every place has at least one woman in white?
That is a good question we'll have to look into. That seems to be the norm. I mean, like our last night's investigation was a woman in white. So let's start with Apple du Combe House. Apple du Combe began as a priory in 1100. It became a convent, then the Elizabethan home of the Lay family. The large Tudor mansion was bequeathed in 1690 to Sir Robert Worsley, 4th Baronet. Abercrombie was once the grandest house on the Isle of Wight. A later owner, Sir Richard Worsley, the 7th Baronet, gained notoriety for a 1782 court case in which his wife Seymour admitted to having 27 lovers. He sued her 28th conquest for damaging his wife. However, the judge only awarded him 1 shilling since he encouraged the affair. Wow.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Yeah, we're just going to skip on by. Just skip. Sir Richard Worsley compared in Abercrombie in 1768. 4 years later, he met Seymour Fleming, a wealthy heiress with a reputation for being a bit of a wild child. And by 1776, they were married with a son. Unfortunately, Sir Richard was too busy with his duties defending the Isle of Wight from France, Spain, and Holland to pay much attention to his energetic wife, and she sought solace in the fashionable society, hanging out with the Duchess of Devonshire and perhaps enjoying an affair or 2 or 6 or 28. Seymour could not remarry until Richard's death, and she became a professional mistress or demonondaine, living off the donations of rich men in order to survive, joining other upper-class women in a similar position in a new female courtier. Sir Richard died of apoplexy on August 8, 1805 at Abercrombie and was buried at the parish church at Godshire. The house was uninhabited from 1901 to 1907 by 100 Benedictine monks who had been exiled from Solesmes Abbey in France and were shortly to settle at Hoare Abbey on the Isle of Wight. The house has become well known as one of the supposedly most haunted places on the island. There were frequent tales and claimed sightings of ghosts and phantoms and other supernatural phenomena. Abercrombie has quite a reputation as a haunted location. Visitors have reported seeing a phantom carriage near the grounds entrance and quite a number of ghosts. People have also reported seeing phantom monks in their traditional brown clothes. The sound of a crying baby is heard throughout the house too. A beautiful woman is often seen in the stable cottage. If you stroll close to the Fremantle gate, you may hear the ghost of a young boy laughing.
Interesting.
Lights can be seen flickering along the main staircase. There are cold spots and sudden changes in temperature in the Great Hall. The visitor's book has also been seen leafed through as if by unseen hands. There are also the ghosts of the 2 little boys who were accidentally blown up by gunpowder.
How can you accidentally get blown up by gunpowder?
That is a good question.
What were they doing? Rolling around in it? Playing that little hide and seek and gunpowder?
Should not have been smoking out back there, little Johnny. The cellar is reportedly one of the most haunted places in the mansion. The shadows of dancers have been seen on the walls of the cellar. People who have been to the cellar have felt as if they are being watched. Cellars, being cellars, are, of course, dark and musty, which brings with it a sense of foreboding as well. The Right Honorable and Noble Sir Richard Worsley, MP, accompanied by his rightful wife, Lady Seymour. One afternoon in 1781, she returned alone at the gates with bags packed ready to elope with George.
Oh, Georgie.
1 year later, divorce proceedings listed him among her numerous lovers, the details of which were shared by the press, causing fans to flutter with society gossip, splattering George and Sir Richard's reputations on maladronis scandal.
Shame on you, both of you.
By the winter of old age, George had turned mad and bad. His bitter heart seething with his eldest daughter announced to him that she wanted to marry her clergyman cousin Fenwick. Wow, this is so twisted.
This is a family affair.
It's all the way across. Old George told the couple that if they went ahead and wed, they would never again set foot in his house. They did, and so in 1821, as he lay dying, he moved into his gardener's cottage and ordered Knighton gorges torn down until nothing was left but the gateposts and cellars, wherein George first realized Lady Worsley was his for the taking. Even though Knighton gorges is now gone, supernatural incidents often are reported, including sights and sounds of a ghostly horse and carriage galloping through the gate. Others have claimed to hear ghostly party revelry drifting up along the valley, and one witness actually saw the ghost house, Brigadoon-like, close enough to look through its windows before it vanished again. So basically, this house, I believe I got... We didn't have a great... I think there might have been like a title gap, because that was Knighton Gorges that we were talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, there wasn't a title gap to it, so it looks like we were still talking about the Abercrombie. So apparently, Knighton Gorges, they destroyed it, they tore it down, but every now and then it seems to
reappear.
It seems to reappear.
Just like any, apparition, you gotta have a house that has to just feel like it has to just pop back up. That makes absolutely no sense. I mean, I get it, people and things like and animals, but buildings? I've never heard of that.
Well, I mean, I've heard of ghost ships.
I mean, have you?
Ghost ships?
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was talking ghost ships. I was talking
ghost houses.
I could probably, yeah.
That's kind of a new one for me.
Yeah.
But the question is, if it's a ghost house and you happen to go in the ghost house and it vanishes again,
do you go with it?
Or do you just kind of stay where you are? So you're like, oh, this is a beautiful house, da, 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 and then it vanishes, and you're just stuck in a field?
Oh. Wow.
What if it's like a parking lot? What if the house used to sit where a highway sits now?
Oh, shit. No good.
No good. Things to think about.
Unless it's up there in the mountains. Just
all right, moving on to Arlington Manor is a historic house located in Arlington near the center of the Isle of Wight, England. With a history stretching back to at least 872 AD, it was gifted by King Alfred the Great in 885 AD to his son, Altheward, and was previously owned by his mother and maternal grandfather. One of the many owners of the manor was Count Slade de Pompey. He was recorded waking up to the sound of someone knocking on the door of his bedroom. He is also reported waking up to knocks on the door, only discovered no one there. However, It's a time when he opened the door and was pushed back by unseen hands. One of the house helpers did say that she saw two monks entering the room, and one of them pushed the count back inside the room. Then both monks disappeared. There is also the story of two brothers feuding over who would inherit the manor. To settle the dispute, they fought a duel to the death. One of the brothers was killed, and 3 days later, the other brother died because of wounds he suffered.
Guess neither one got the house.
We play stupid games. The title of the manor went to Barnaby Lay. He was smothered by his son, who wanted to inherit the estate. But when he looked up after smothering his father, he noticed Annabelle, his younger sister, watching. Oh, okay, so the son was trying to smother. I would like smother, huh? Dad, I really love you. You're the greatest guy ever. No, it's smother.
Yes. Wow.
Because they wanted the house. He noticed Annabelle's younger sister watching. He panicked, grabbed his sister, and threw her down from the highest window of the manor. It said there is a spot in the manor which is permanently cold. The ghost of the little girl Annabelle is often seen walking around the manor. Sometimes people can hear her calling around for her mother. Arlington Manor is said to be home to a plethora of ghosts, ghouls, and creatures of the underworld. The 9th century building is rumored to be the eternal abode of a young girl by the name of Annabelle Lee, which was who we're already talking about. According to legend, Lee was murdered by her older brother after she witnessed him suffocate his father. He was a particularly nasty little boy. In order to protect himself, he murdered his younger sister by throwing her from the highest window of the manor. Today, Annabelle haunts Arlington Manor and is particularly active in the room from which she was thrown. Of course she was. She got thrown out a window. She is often heard in the dead night, sobbing inconsolably and calling for her mother. Arlington Manor is said to be home to a plethora of ghosts. Okay, I think that...
Yeah. I think that's a repeat.
That's a repeat. Well,
repeat.
Maybe we're re-emphasizing that. Re-emphasizing.
Yes. Well, hell.
Yeah, we're just going to go with that. It was, yeah.
Re-emphasizing.
Re-emphasizing. It's plethora of ghosts, ghouls, and creatures of the underworld.
And the young man killing his dad and throwing his sister out a window. Just so. Why do people do that shit to inherit property? Is it just they're greedy little fucks?
Yeah, probably greedy.
Shit, if I'll leave it alone. I could go on a rant for so long with that. Never mind. We got better things to do.
We got the whistling ghosts of the Castle Inn, a long-dead stable lad who claimed to have been a victim of Jethart Justice is alleged to be haunting a pub on the Isle of Wight, writes Mark Entwistle. Local legend says that was in the 18th century that the young man hanged himself in the stables adjoining the Castle Inn at Newport after a turbulent love affair. Like their landlord predecessors before them, Stuart Luke and his wife Sarah have often found themselves woken in the middle of the night by the sounds of whistling. But the subsequent check for intruders in the pub always reveals the premises to be peaceful. Although 5 pence pieces are left strewn about the place, so at least it's paying. It's a paying ghost. Sorry I bothered you. Here's 5 pence pieces. You gotta find them. This brings up another idea. Maybe, it's a pub. People get drunk. Maybe they're doing like stupid bar games with pences. That could be like a skeptic's corner early. What? Oh yes, we're finding pence pieces all over the place. They're playing quarters or something. Passing pence pieces all over the place. It's a pub. It's going to be active. You're not going to notice what's going on.
Right?
Moving on. According to the local Ghost Walk Guide and a 17-year veteran of paranormal investigations on the island, Mark Tucky, the whistling comes from the stable lad whistling at his horses. Or maybe it's a door open. Early skeptics corner. The wind's rustling through. Now we head off to a place fit for a queen. Thomas Colbert designed Osborne House according to Prince Albert's vision. This seaside retreat.
Yeah, we're not talking Ozzy Osbourne.
No, we're not talking Ozzy. This seaside retreat off the coast of England was built in the Italian style as influenced by Albert's trip to the Bay of Naples in 1839. He wanted the palace to reflect the warm climate of Europe and fit in with this concept of island. Sweeping terraces, traditional Italian gardens, and picturesque ocean views make it the ultimate holiday escape. It's like a travel agency right there.
It sounds that way, right?
Come see the island. Stay for the dead bodies. Osborne House is not only inspired by Italian design. Queen Victoria's title, Empress of India, influenced the unique style of the Dubar wing. This stately part of the building was used to entertain guests and house the family of the Queen's youngest daughter, Princess Beatrice. Tragedy struck during the 14th of December 1861 when Albert fell ill and died in Windsor. Distraught with grief, Victoria retired from public life and instead sought seclusion at Osborne House for the next 40 years till her own death in 1901. Prince Albert's death affected the Queen deeply. Said she held seances at Osborne House to try and contact her husband from beyond the grave. She even obsessively instructed the house staff to lay out clothes in his quarters and provide hot water for bathing as if he were still there. Queen Victoria spent more and more time in Osborne House to feel close to her deceased husband.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah. Fast.
Did the clothes ever move?
Yeah. Did anybody hear or see water moving? Like someone taking a bath? Yeah.
Is anyone still laying out clothes for the prince nowadays?
Good question. Definitely.
Yeah. There are other paranormal experiences on the island.
How many experiences are there? Holy cow.
There's a lot going on this island.
Yeah.
The Carisbrooke Castle is a historical jewel of the Isle of Wight. And like the Klondike is our crown jewel of our tour. The castle itself dates back to the Norman invasion, but it is believed the grounds were once the site of another fort during Roman occupation. The castle has hosted some familiar names over the centuries, including Charles I, who spent 10 months in prison there prior to his execution at the conclusion of the Civil War. Charles attempted to escape the island multiple times during his near year-long residence, but he never got very far. In the afterlife, however, it seems that Charles I has finally managed to move on. I bet you didn't see that coming. Charles I does not haunt the walls of Carisbrooke Castle, but that doesn't mean the site is without its fair share of otherworldly entities. The ghostly figure of a gray lady, so we're not got a white lady, we got a gray lady, is ruggedly strolling through the grounds accompanied by a pack of dogs and a man, presumably her husband decked out in a brown jerkin.
Okay.
So even the dogs don't get a good respite. They're still working on the afterlife.
Poor animals.
Poor dogs. Let's keep working. There is a well located on the castle grounds in which those who gaze into it long enough are reported to witness the floating face of one Elizabeth Tiffin. The woman met a tragic end when she fell into the hole and nobody was around to hear her desperate cries for help. Her lungs filled with water and her lifeless body sunk to the depths of the well. That reminds me of a movie called The Ring.
Yep.
Is there
Absolutely.
a videotape? Do we have 7 days?
Mm.
I'm gonna have to watch that movie later.
Oh, yeah. That, yeah, that was not one of my favorites.
Uh,
Sorry.
that's due. There are more tales of ghosts on the island, which claims to be one of the world's most haunted. At the Hare and Hounds pub in Ayrton, the story of Mike and Maury is the stuff of Isle of Wight legend. Maury killed his young grandson in cold blood in 1737, was tried and hanged, and his corpse left rotting near the Hare and the Hounds. The gibbet crossbeam, complete with a notch cut in beside the date of his execution, can be seen in the pub, and Maury's spirit can also be seen roaming Gallows Hill, carrying a large axe. Where'd he get the axe? I mean, if the dude's dead, where's he getting the axe from?
Right? There's a little bit of something missing there. Maybe
But
Tammy ran out of time. But yeah, I mean, where does that axe come into play at? I mean,
well, my thing just ends with, so there we have several of the reasons why and how the Isle of Wight is haunted. It
yeah.
says it's 11 pages, but I only got 5.
Yep, that's all I got as well.
We already did. I
Holy
did pull
cow.
up hauntedrooms.co.uk, Isle of Wight. We have Arlington Manor, what they're talking about. Talk about Annabelle, haunts Arlington Manor, particularly active in the room from which she was thrown. She's often heard in the dead of night, sobbing inconsolably and calling for her mother. We got Carisbrooke Castle. Carisbrooke Castle is a historical jewel of the Isle of Wight there. The castle itself dates back to the Norman invasion. Golden Hill Fort. Construction of Golden Hill Fort began in 1863 after the Royal Commission on the Defense of the United Kingdom decided it needed to take extra precautions to ensure the continued development of the Isle of Wight. Today, after 100 years in use, it is a Grade 1 listed building and has recently renovated to a series of luxury homes. So it was kind of like a Battery Russell, it sounds like.
Okay.
Though it is unclear why anybody would want to live there. While construction work is usually blamed for heightened paranormal activity, it is probably not the cause of the ghostly goings-on at Golden Hill Fort. People have been reporting spirits in the building since its days as an army barracks, one of which is said to be the ghost of a sailor who was put to death after it was discovered he had been trading secrets to the enemy. The sailor is said to still roam the halls of Golden Hill Fort, perhaps in search of somebody who might be interested in hearing about the British Army's next World War I strategy. Visitors to Golden Hill Fort have also reported encounters with a man dressed in full army garb, looking as though he stepped right out of an episode of Blackadder. The spirit is believed to be that of World War I Sergeant Major who died under mysterious circumstances. According to rumblings at the time, the man was so hated by his soldiers that they plotted his murder, managed to make it look like an accident. His mutilated ghosts are generally blamed for the fort's disemboweled yells and the serious smell of tobacco smoke, and doors which slammed shut, seemingly of their own accord. We got the Ventnor Botanical Garden. There's another one. Ventnor Botanical Garden was founded in 1970 by noted horticulture nut Sir Harold Hiller, who then donated to the Isle of Wight Council. The garden is brimming with plants and trees from all over the world, organized by region, some of the most breathtaking displays of beauty and nature. It is quite lovely, but there is a little-known dark side of the Ventnor Botanical Garden. The ground on which the garden rests was once home to the Royal National Hospital for Diseases of the Chest. That is a long name.
Yeah, holy cow.
Royal National Hospital for Diseases of the Chest. You know, I mean, we just have Waverly Hills. Royal National Hospital for Diseases of the Chest. You need to have a go get your chest checked. Just saying all of that in one big breath.
Yeah.
The hospital opened its doors in the 19th century when respiratory issues still had a high mortality rate. The hospital was shut down in 1964 and demolished 5 years later, but the ghosts of patients who met their ends there are still said to roam the grounds. Those visiting the Ventnor Botanical Garden for a nice day out are often shocked to see several gaunt men wandering around the garden, shivering and displaying the effects of tuberculosis, a disease which ran rampant throughout Great Britain in the 1800s. Unknown to the visitors, there are images from 100 years prior being played out again and again before their eyes. Disemboweled moans and groans of dying patients are often heard on the grounds. So are fits of coughing and crying. Strange smells are reported to pour from a nearby tunnel, which was used to remove medical waste from the hospital during its heyday. This place sounds like a great place to take a date. Honey, let's go to the botanical gardens and walk around and look at all the things. And why is that guy over there look like he's just so sick? What's going on? I don't know. Oh yeah, it's this place used to be the Royal National Hospital for Diseases of the Chest.
Wow.
Ooh, Whitecroft Hospital. We love good hospital stories. Whitecroft Hospital carries on the Isle of Wight's strange tradition of turning purportedly haunted buildings into residential areas.
Oh, what? No. Have we not learned this? Do not turn shit like that into a residential. No. Absolutely not.
Multiple attempts have been made to turn the building, which was once Whitecroft Hospital, into a collection of high-end apartments. People don't seem too crazy about the idea of living in a notorious insane asylum. Whitecroft Hospital closed its doors after a century in the operation in the early 1990s, but like Ventnor Botanical Gardens, there are a few past patients who seem reluctant to move on. Contractors hired to prepare the building for eventual human occupation have reported multiple unexplainable events over the years. Virtually all of them have reported the unnerving feeling of being watched, while a smaller but still substantial number claim to have encountered mysterious women in faded nurses' uniform. It is said that the spirit of a doctor regularly appears in one of the hospital car parks, taking a misty but unmistakable human form. The doctor has been seen strolling along as if arriving for another day of work and is sometimes observed peering through one of the hospital ground floor windows. So we got a peep in town.
Dang. Really?
I mean, why are we turning these places that were old medical facilities, insane asylums, and we're going to make it happy, and we're going to make it so you can live here, and don't worry about the ghosts, and don't worry about the figures coming through your walls. It's okay. It's just an insane asylum. It was only the Royal Hospital for chest and cold and coughs and
people, society just don't learn. They think just because there's a building there, hey, we could transform it from this to this. Don't worry about its past history. You know.
I don't think we need many more houses that badly. Here we got SpookyIsles.com/Isle of Wight. The Hare and the Hound Pub, Down End Road, Newport. I believe that the local locator named Michael Morey was executed. Killed his grandson. He was hanged and left to rot in a gibbet. The beam that was used for his hanging can still be seen in his pub, a shadowy figure to be the ghost. Is seen walking around the village with an axe in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And we already talked about the Whitecroft Hospital.
Yeah, there's even a little YouTube video on it.
Very serious.
Of course.
All right, so here's another one that we didn't talk about, the Star Inn in Roxall. Star Inn has been through its fair share of mishaps, going through a fire in 1981 and being hit by Nazi bombs in World War II. Having ghosts was not an issue until quite recently when the security cameras in the pub had a glass cup being toppled over by an invisible force from the table. There's been more than one such incident happening at the inn, and there was no other explanation for them apart from the presence of ghosts.
My question is, was there anyone sitting right there to cause that to just, you could bump something and a glass could fall over?
That is a very good question. It doesn't say much.
Right?
We got St. Catherine's Lighthouse in Ventnor. The lighthouse has many different spooky stories attached to it depending on who you ask. Some believe that the lighthouse is haunted by ghosts of some animals, and some say it is haunted by the ghosts of some men who were killed by an airstrike in World War II. Any way you look at it, some strange things are going on in the lighthouse.
Dude, this next one sounds good.
The ghost train?
Yeah. Newport Ghost Train.
All locomotive train has been sighted moving through Newport, pulling 3 carriages with it, heading to the town of Cowes. This is quite irregular, especially since the station in Newport has been shut down for the past 40 years. That would be interesting. We need to find the ghost train.
Right? That's what I'm saying. That sounds like actual fun.
Scrolling down, we got Bellingham Manor. Another thing we talked about. Ghosts walking along corridors, up the staircases, singing coming from an invisible source, shadowy figures of a man in red and a woman in gray.
Now we got red and gray again? Come on.
Yeah, we got a woman in gray and a man in red.
Along with the woman in white.
Along with a woman in white. We got the Sandown Pier. Sandown Pier is a pleasure pier. It serves as home to more than just one paranormal being. It became obvious that it was haunted when, after a show one night, a ghost appeared right on the stage and he walked through the curtain. Since then, there have been multiple reports of ghosts in the area and it's become quite an attraction. Spooky Isles website there, spookyisles.com. You really need a bit more substance into your stuff here.
Yeah. Or they're just saving it for later. What a shame. I'd like to know more.
Yeah, that was it.
What we got here?
All right, paranormaldatabase.com, Isle of Wight. So you got the flying hare. It is now the thought that the phantom flying hare, which reportedly haunted this lane, was the creation of a local smuggler determined to keep meddling locals out of the way. So the flying hare was possible. Doorway figure, St. Mary's Church, Brightstone. Visitors church photographed a ghostly figure standing close to the doorway. This is kind of just giving quick little synopsis.
Yeah, I'm not having too good luck myself here. Ooh, what do we got here?
We got a vanishing ship off the coast of Compton Bay. Sighted in July 1959. An old 3-masted sailing ship was observed by a group of friends on the beach having a party. The ship headed towards the shore, only to vanish when only a few meters from the beach. Others who have seen it named the ship as the HMS Eurydice.
Ooh.
So apparently for an island that is like super haunted, it's just like a lot of like haunted kids. We got Trinity Theater in Cowes, 1940s upward. Bloody footprints that are said to appear along the floor of the auditorium to be those of the person who died during the Blitz. Mild poltergeist activity is also reported at the theater.
Hey, you know anything about the Sundown Clown?
Hit me. Hit me with the sundown clown.
This is on the right.com. The Sundown Clown, exploring Sam, the Isle of Wight's surreal 1973 encounter. The story of the Sandown Clown, or as many often call it, the tale of Sam, the Sandown Clown, takes place near Lake Common, Sandow, Isle of Wight, on a typical afternoon in May of 1973. Two children, known only as Faye and an unnamed boy, were playing near the river when a peculiar wailing sound said to resemble an ambulance siren piqued their curiosity. The sound led them to a surreal encounter with a 7-foot tall humanoid figure wearing distinctive clown like attire, whom people later named Sam the Sandown Clown. Sam the Sandown Clown had a black knobbed microphone with a white flex attached with him. Speaking into it stopped the weird wailing noise. That's weird. Initially, he used the microphone to communicate with the children. However, it was found later that he could also speak without it, though his speech was somewhat unclear and his lips barely moved. Triangular eyes, square nose, and yellow lips, with triangular markings for eyes, a square brown nose, and yellow lips on a face that sat directly on his shoulders without any discernible neck. Sam's unusual appearance also included limbs that looked like wooden slats. He wore a green tunic, white trousers, and a pointy yellow hat. Near a wooden footbridge is where the children's interaction with Sam took place. He appeared carrying a book, and as their encounter progressed, Sam communicated in a non-sequential manner, revealing a name that he described as All Couleurs Sam. An unusual abode. Sam invited the children into his metallic, self-made hut, where he spent about 30 minutes engaging with them. Inside the quaint two-floor hut, the children noticed aspects reflecting Sam's unconventional life, like his strange way of eating berries. First inserting them into his ear, then transferring them to his mouth via his eye. Okay, this brief dialogue left the children with more questions than answers about who or what Sam truly was. Well, yeah, I mean, you don't typically eat like that. I mean, God almighty. Never seen again. The encounter with Sam the Sandown Clown was the only documented appearance of this mysterious figure. The primary preservation of this narrative is through a 1978 Bufora British UFO Research Association report, making it a tale that teeters on the edge of earthly and extraterrestrial, suggesting endless possibilities in the unknown. The report to Bufora came from Mr. Y, the father of one of the children, who wished to remain anonymous. Target Faye, as the report referred to the child, told her father about the encounter, leading him to report it to Bufora. The tale of Sam and the Sandown Clown, who disappeared as mysteriously as he appeared, lives on in local folklore and beyond. Immortalized with each retelling and continuing to captivate with its whimsical narrative intertwined with the timeless allure of the unexplained. Wow. And you could buy your own Sam, a 3D printed Sam the Clown, if you really want that. But there's even a YouTube video on that.
So go to YouTube, look for the clown video.
Yes. Holy cow. Sandow, the ghost clown. Yeah. That was interesting. A little twist.
Basically, what we're finding out is the Isle of Wight's got a bunch of ghosts and legends and everything else. And yeah.
Yeah. Dude, this. Ooh. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, everything else I'm come across obviously is what we've already kind of gone through.
Yeah. Well, it was, I don't know. Do we have enough for a skeptic's corner?
I can't even. You know, I can't even call it a skeptic's corner because there's really not a whole lot to go by on any of this.
It definitely sounds like it's a lot of local legends and everything else.
And yeah.
I
mean, I'm still wrapping my mind around a haunted building, that just appears and disappears.
Yeah. Yeah, we can end the month on a bit of a low because we're going to have 2 good months of highs and
absolutely.
Show's not totally off the rails.
Yeah, and we didn't even go off the rails tonight.
No, we didn't. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and get ready to wrap up. Next Sunday, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we got the new show coming out, War Room. It's going to be a little bit more of a serious take. Half hour, 2 seasoned professionals talking about basically how to set up stuff, how to work stuff. It's going to be a more in-depth, detailed look at cryptid hunting, ghost hunting.
So want to be ... So
we're going to go into more detail on that kind of stuff. Yeah. So we're just going to go ahead and just say thanks for everybody that tuned in or will tune in later.
Absolutely.
And of course, James has got the final word.
Keep your cryptids close and tight and hug them all night. See you all next week.
Take it easy, everybody.